Well, hello and welcome to Haley. Thank you, Haley, for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to just join me in this little conversation that we're going to have today. And really, Haley, why I wanted to speak to you is because I've seen you blossom into something that maybe I even wasn't aware of, and that is just this woman, that's out there living her life and the calmness and the peace that I've seen sort of wash over you and the way that you're showing up in the world has been very, very easy to see. It's been a palpable energy from you when I'm in your presence to notice. And I really wanted to speak to you today a little bit about, how you came to be this person that you are today and really what got you started on this journey.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for having me. Um, I think what springs to mind is early on in the awakening, you said something along the lines of that we can learn to be okay with whatever shows up. And so at the time you said, sometimes people get angry with you or they don't understand it. And maybe my reaction was that I didn't understand it. But I think it's something that I've learned, it's become a part of who I am, and it's changed my life. So that in the simplest form was a massive change for me. And that's probably why I would come across as someone who is calm or that doesn't stress, because I've learned, well, it was an unlearning for me that if there's nothing you can do to control the situation, then all of your energy that you're putting into trying to control the situation is going to be wasted. And so you can learn to be okay with whatever shows up.
When I hear that, the word that just springs to mind is trust. There's a
Yeah,
huge amount of trust that's developed, inside of you, which I know, and now you know too, that is born in us. We have this
yeah,
idea, that we can trust, and then all kinds of stuff in life happens, and then we lose that capacity to just trust our own guidance, our own inner wisdom. I'd love for
yeah.
you to speak a little bit, Haley, about, you went through the coaches training, which is now being changed to the calling, because I've seen how many people are being called to this work.
Mm,
Originally, I thought people wanted to train and learn how to coach other people, but what I'm seeing, there's more of a sharing, there's more of a, this is what happened for me. Can I tell you about this? And I love that it's a possibility to change it to the calling, because that's how I came to the work. I was called, like I didn't
mm.
have a choice. Just I had to do something, and so I'm sensing that may have happened to you as well, because generally the people that show up, for MindFit, are called. There's like this nudge. There's almost like a desire. There's this need to do something. Did you have that sort of experience as well?
Definitely, it was something unshakable. It was like I was pulled towards this path, and so um, I went to sleep thinking about it, woke up thinking about it. So definitely feel it's a calling, and I love the coach's journey and
Mm-hmm.
learned so much through that. Um, Being able to practically lead people towards insight was such a different way of thinking, because I'd always learned and I'd looked for people to motivate me and guide me and tell me what to do. And so learning that, and then also relearning that when you're sitting in someone else's presence, teaches you so much. So I loved it.
Sure, it's just like the wonderful side effect of the work that we do, right? Is that
Yeah,
we get,
yeah,
as much, if not more benefits than the client gets. And that's our little secret. We won't tell too many people about that. But yeah, that's exactly what happens,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
Haley, have you found that even although you weren't a full-time coach, you were working and you've got a family and two young boys that you're raising, how do you feel being on the awakening and then being part of the coaches training, the calling now, has impacted your life?
It impacted it in every area. It's almost harder to think of how it, where I don't use it than when I do, because it's changed every part of my day. So I think if I look at my biggest role at this point would be parenting. It's changed my parenting style because life is happening for my children as it is happening for me, and they are being
Mm.
taught through all the things that they are facing. And so it's definitely created so much peace in my home, and then that spills out into my life. Um, so it's had a huge impact.
Mm. And you
Yeah.
and you talk about parenting. I'm guessing anyone that's a parent and listening to you is like, what are you talking about? What peace? Where do you find that? You know, tell me a little bit more about that. What do you, how would you describe that sort of peace that you have and the connection with your children and how you feel it's happening in your home?
Mm. So I think a huge shift happened for me when I realized we can, um, it has to do with our thoughts, the way that we're feeling. We can look at our thoughts, and then we can choose to, like, if you're on a cell phone, you can swipe, and that's what our kids do all day. They just scroll, 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 and they look at what they want to. So we can do that in every area of our life. So with parenting, with every situation that we face throughout our day, um, it's how we think about it that creates this either struggle or the freedom to love this person through it and let them learn what they are about to learn. Um, so it was that understanding of the connection between thoughts and feelings that stopped me from taking everything so personally. So, like things, it was no longer my battle, and it was no longer a reflection on my parenting, what they were going through. And it was just a shift of being able to be an observer and allow what was happening to happen. And I think just the peace and the self control that comes with peace create such a different environment in your home that you can watch a lesson unfold instead of give the lesson. Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful. Honestly, the way that you said that, I absolutely love that. And
Thank
you know,
you.
the sort of analogy of scrolling and deciding what you want to put your focus on, and
Yeah.
saying that that opportunity with every single moment of every day, we actually have that opportunity, and seeing the lesson unfold for your child and not
Yeah.
making it about you is
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, no, I can
Yeah.
imagine how much more peaceful it must feel in your home just with that
Yeah.
one thing that you've discovered. And obviously,
Yes.
going through the training, you get more and more familiar with the feeling that you are referring to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's an important distinction to make. It's very different, experiencing it rather than just thinking about it, because that's all just you in your head, as
Mm.
opposed to you really getting in touch with how you're feeling about something and navigating your life from a place of, do I want to continue in this way or do I want to continue in this way? What a
Yeah.
wonderful choice. Comes down to trust again. I love that, Haley.
Yeah.
So so do
Thank
you have
you.
any sort of, examples? Because, I know that you weren't a full-time coach, but you were engaging with people. Do you have any
Mm.
sort of examples? And I know you were coaching um,
Mm.
people all the time, but not on a full-time basis. Anything that you can tell us about
Mm.
where you saw, the shift that you speak of take place
Mm.
because of the fact that you knew how to articulate, how to share, how to listen, how to
Mm.
all of those how to's.
Yeah, I think it was quite soon after I did the coaching course that I ended up working full time in a very busy marketing environment at a school. And so that felt like being back in corporate again. And so the example I would use is that you're surrounded by a lot of noise and pressure. And so that learning to listen, that ability to slow things down in your mind and listen, and then wait for the wisdom to come through instead of having a answer, preparing your mind and answering something that sounds clever in the moment, to just create that space to allow wisdom to come through was massive. So
Wow.
when you first taught about it, I thought, but I didn't really believe it. I didn't trust it. You speak about, trust is everything. But when you are vulnerable enough to go, well, let me try this, and you try it and you see that it works, then you repeat it again and again and again. And all of a sudden you'll go into a meeting or a situation and the piece will be there with you when you walk in, instead of, somewhere along the lines you gathered it because something went right. So it was a journey, but I definitely used it so much in the corporate space straight away.
That's massive,
Yeah.
because that is really, I've just really come from a corporate meeting, and really that idea of preparing something to sound smart about
Mm.
is in that culture, because nobody
Yeah.
wants to be left out and everyone's under pressure. No one wants to lose their job, and everyone hopes to get a 13th check and a bonus
Yeah.
and performance appraisals and all those kinds
Yeah.
of things are
Yeah.
so part and parcel of a lot of that culture. And
Yeah.
once you can really see through that illusion, that
Yes.
actually what comes through in real time is so much more powerful than anything you could have prepared. It's so in opposition to the way that we've been taught. So,
Yeah.
my curiosity is just like way up there now. How have you seen this affect your boys? Because I mean, they are preteen and teen, right? Or they're both
Mm-hmm.
teens. So I mean,
13 and
so they're both
15.
teens, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. What do you feel? Now that you've got this information and before you had it and what you see now, could you speak to that a little bit?
I think it's definitely meant a lot for both of them in their lives. They're both very sports orientated. So I've never been able to coach them along the lines of technical sports coaching, but I'm on the side of the field and I'm there supporting them with whatever they do. And a part of what I say a lot is that trust your body, trust it's already in you. Don't get into your head. So you already have everything you need to achieve the outcome that you imagine. So get out of that busy space where there's just so much going on, and flow with what you already have and what you already know, and trust that that dream and vision that you have will come to be. And I've seen these little people be so much more relaxed. And when you're relaxed, you can perform. And so I've just seen them flourish in that one area. Yeah.
Sure, Katie, that is so big. I mean, you know what it was like when you were a kid and you were competing, or even as an adult, and to have that information at the age they are is golden.
Mm.
So well done
Yeah.
for taking it and really imparting that to them as well, because this is not exclusively for big people. This is for
No.
anyone, no matter where you are and what you're doing. If you know this, for me, from what I see, it just changes your life so dramatically, and you want more. You just
Yeah,
really want more.
for
So,
sure.
so where are you with all of it today? What is your vision for your calling? What do you see for yourself, and just for your community, your family? Have you seen some changes in people? Because we always talk about all boats rise with the tide. This ripple effect of one person getting this beautiful understanding, and then everybody being impacted by it.
Yes. So I'm in an interesting phase at the moment. So I was recently retrenched. So I went out of that super, super busy corporate space to now being in a space of not working. And so it's tested this understanding that I have and belief that life happens for you and not to you. But I really like wake up every day being so present in the space and knowing that this is an absolute luxury, and being present in this moment and not looking to the future, not letting fear distract me, is the real prize. So um, I think that I'm closer to the dream of full-time coaching than I've ever been. And what unfolds will be what is meant to be for this time. So I'm living day by day, and just being ready for whatever happens.
It sounds like a way more fun space to live in than this
Yeah,
constant worry and hustle and striving and all of that. And I'm sure you're
yeah,
taking action in all sorts of ways, but from a different place rather
mm,
than this it has to happen. It's a curiosity about what might happen. And I
exactly.
know from my perspective, I don't know any other way to be. And I think that's probably what I'm sensing from you is just this absolute trust and allowing yourself to be in the moment, knowing full well, trusting it, going to come, what's coming for you. Who knows what that is? You won't see it and you
Yeah.
won't hear it and you won't be able to accept it when you're so up in your head, as you were talking about the children not being there, with your idea of what it's supposed to look like. And that's really
Yes.
taking an unbelievable journey into the unknown space and being okay
Yeah.
with whatever comes up.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
this thought recently. It was just a picture. I was looking at someone's weekend photos from being in the bush. And so I looked, they had this beautiful picture of a lioness. And I thought, well, we can take these examples and lessons from nature, if we will. And a lioness doesn't hunt and feed and then sit around planning and plotting where the next meal will come from. Nor do they just lie and sleep under a tree forever. They do for a while, but there's the right timing for everything. And so nature doesn't waste energy on that's like what we do with getting all caught up in the future and fear. They will just rest for the time it takes to rest and then get out again on the hunt when it's the right time. So that's definitely was a picture for me that made a lot of sense.
Oh, and what a powerful picture, and something that really, really resonates with me because I take my lead from nature. I speak about it all the time. Nature just has a seamless way of operating, and we are nature. So, how
Mm,
could it be possible that we wouldn't get the same instinctive, innate wisdom bubbling up for us when we need
yeah,
it? It's
yeah,
what, if that's what you're focused on rather than the fear of what might not happen or what might or could have happened or did happen. It's what a
mm,
waste of energy. I love the way that you said that. I
mm,
totally, totally agree. So, Haley, just to sort of in closing, and it's been so nice speaking to you. This is a rare opportunity just to, look, behind the curtain of your life for a little while and see how far you've come and to
thank you.
experience you in this way as well. I'd love for you just to sort of connect the dots for anyone that might be watching this and thinking, "Oh, I don't know, is this for me? Should I be doing it? I don't really know if I want to be a coach. No, I don't want to be a coach." What is it that you would say to anyone that's sitting on the fence, feeling the nudge, knowing that they've been called, but not certain and maybe a little bit confused about taking the step?
Mm. I'd say the nudge is there for a reason, and we've spent so much of our life ignoring the nudge. And so, if we were to know that that nudge is love, it's pure love, and it's coming to us from a place um, of wisdom and of guidance. And so, if we will listen to that, we'll go on the most wonderful journey that we can. And you don't have to think about, well, how will I use it, what will I do with it, what will this mean to me in the future. Just follow what's happening today, and that's it. Your curiosity is being piqued around this, and trust in that feeling and let it unfold, because there's a lot of meaning behind that.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Trust the feeling, let it
yeah,
unfold. Very, very wise words that are coming deep within your own, your own spirit, your own soul, and that wisdom is coming up for you. And I
mm,
feel it as well. Haley, thank you so
thank you.
much. I really
Pleasure,
appreciate this
Sharon.
time
Thank
given
you.
me today. And I'm just wishing you well in all the things that are going to unfold for you. Just
Thank
enjoy
you
the moments.
very much.
I know to you, and it shows on your face. I can sense
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
And just I feel for you, with your young fellas in your life and the way that you're living now. There's so much going on that is very positive and is going to be happening or not happening. It doesn't matter, but to trust the process. And I'm
Yeah,
loving watching you blossom and bloom the way that you have. So
thank you.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Sharon.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.